student athletes are in the back of the room.
Coach, you have 7 starters returning on both sides of the ball. What's going to be key for success for the Sun Devils this season?
Well, our big thing is really we've gone back and assessed, and our whole deal is getting back to what we do. That's playing discipline, hardcore discipline football. I like our team because it's a veteran team. We have a lot of experience on both sides of the football, and so the whole key for us is getting back to playing discipline, hardcore football. I like the fact that I feel good. Probably the most important thing I do is hire the coaches that work with our players and personnel. And I like the edge that our team has. The first day of practice, I went out there and I had to go like, well, wait a minute, we don't have any pads on, guys, easy, So they got a little edge about them, and I think they're a veteran bunch, and I like the maturity of our team.
This is your 6th year at ASU. How do you think you evolved as a coach from year 1 to year 6?
Well, I'll tell you, that's a great question. What I would tell you is that's probably the reason why you get knocked on your can, because we didn't evolve in I think the recent years, and that's something that we spent a lot of time looking at. I think we were doing, you go back, and the key to winning a championship is to play in championship defense and being able to run the football and obviously score points. We've been pretty good at scoring points. We're second in the league in the last 5 years, almost 37 points a game, so we're going to score points. We got to get back to taking care of the football. We got to eliminate the negative plays. That's the biggest 2 things on offense. On defense, obviously, with the big plays, that's why I brought Coach Bennett in. When we were 13, we went to the championship. We really had a unique system, and then people start studying what you're doing, and you have to constantly evolve. And so that's something that I think is critical to being successful, and that's we spent a lot of time, I think, in that process, evolving and adapting. Because what happens is each year the players change, and boy, it's hard to change something you've been successful with, and so you have to evolve and you have to adapt, and I think that's where we had some injuries. So in the scheme that we were doing, we went from 1s to 3s. That doesn't mean that we had bad personnel. We needed to change what we were doing. And so that's something that we really spent a lot of time on adapting, and I think that's probably one of the most critical things in a very, very highly competitive league with a lot of parity. You've got to adapt and evolve, but we know the formula. There's a very definitive formula for winning, and it's very simple. It's owning the football, it's dominating the line of scrimmage and run game, and score more than the other team.
How did you go about navigating the logistics of this week with having to start practice and come here and all that?
Well, I mean, we had, obviously we were able to practice yesterday. I had to leave a little bit early, and then flying over here for, I don't know, whatever reason, it took 20 minutes longer than usual, and it's been a little frantic, but don't worry about things I can't control. So, not a big deal.
Todd, you have some intensity on the field, and Phil Bennett really seems to have an edge about him. And
Phil does?
Yeah, Michael Slater also tends to have a little bit of that. Do you think that that's something that's going to help your players?
I think that our motto this year is Sun Devil Tough, and when I came here today, I can't keep thinking about Coach Cush and every single Sun Devil you talk to, it's about being tough. And tough people come out of tough times. And one of the things we went back and evaluated and assessed is how hard we had played when we were competing for championships. And so that's something that our guys are teachers. We're going to treat our guys with great respect. But we're going, tough people come out of tough times, and this is a tough physical sport, and we got to get back to running the ball and playing with speed, physicality, and to finish every play with a passion. So that's what you see. I think you see guys like Rob Sale and Slater and Bennett and Rob Lycan. Every guy we got on our staff are guys that are very passionate about what they're doing. They're all great teachers as well.
How much did you guys miss Christian Sam last year?
The most under-asked question, that it was huge, because I think anybody that watches us practice knows, one, how good a football player he is, but just where we were from a depth standpoint. We had some young guys that weren't really ready, and you know, if we even though we had, you know, a veteran in there, you know, if he would have been healthy, I think for the most part it would have been DJ and Christian, and so that hurt us tremendously. I mean, a lot of guys very talented, and got a lot of experience, and we've got to stay healthy, and part of that's been our training. That's one of the things I'm excited about our new facility, is from a nutritional standpoint, we've gone from I think the bottom to the top, and how we can take care of our players as far as how we feed them, how we can maintain and be on the cutting edge from a nutritional standpoint, from an athletic training standpoint, an injury prevention standpoint, as far as our strength room. Anybody that's been in there, you can see is going to have a huge impact, and it doesn't have an impact while you're showing pictures of it. It has an impact once you get it. And the great thing what we did wasn't trying to put a lot of the, you know, elaborate things. It was integrating technology-wise. It is on the cutting edge. It's very innovative from a teaching standpoint. So, and then from a training standpoint, it's on the cutting edge. You look at the underwater treadmill and the things, zero gravity treadmill. Those things that we have now, we just didn't have before. That's going to help us tremendously. Keep our guys healthy, train them, and teach them.
These themes that you've been discussing today, toughness, running the ball, playing hard, did the Territorial Cup results drive that home for you, or were you already thinking along those lines leading into the end of the season?
No. We assessed the entire season, entire year, and what we were doing, and you know, we just, you know, my whole deal, it's easy to assess other people, and so it's all self-evaluation, and every year's a new year. No, I don't spend any time. We do that in January. When we get done in January, we put that behind us and you go to the next deal. You know, basically you got a knocked donor can. You can sit around and make every excuse for it. Nobody cares you had injuries. Nobody cares about any of that. I'll tell you what you can do something about is the next rep, the next day, the next practice, the next game. So that's been our approach. But this is not something that anybody that's been around our program knows. That's who we are. You know, but we obviously got knocked on our can from that. You got to get back up and get those things reestablished, and I got a lot of confidence we're going to do that, because I've been very, very pleased with our coaching and the training that we put in, and then the edge that these guys have. I'm looking forward to watching this team. Anytime you have that kind of investment from your players, not just on the times that are required, but everything, these guys have invested. I've not had a team that's invested more than this team has from a work standpoint and from a toughness standpoint, as far as the rigor of what they've done. And usually when you have that kind of investment, you get pretty good returns.
Coach, a lot of people have been talking for years about Arizona State just being a sleeping giant, you know, football-wise, and I'm sure it's one of the reasons that you took the job. What's it really going to take to change that, to become that?
Well, we've done it. I mean, you know, we've been to the championship in 13. You know, we've had success, and success sometimes is hard. The key, what you're talking about, is sustaining it. And, you know, so the whole deal is being able to be consistent. I think one of the things is it's going to impact us moving forward, is having a state-of-the-art training and teaching facility, because we got a very definitive plan to how to be a consistent winner in the Pac-12. And we talk about our 4 values: character, smart, discipline, tough, and in that order, because each one produces the next one. And so now you can put those things in place, and we've worked hard to do those things with what we've had, but the key is, you know, now we're going to have an opportunity, I think, to improve our ability to recruit, improve our ability to develop and teach, and improve our ability to train our players. So I think that's going to be big. And then, man, the big thing is just getting it down the field, man. You're playing a lot of close football games. You got to win them. And that's why you got to have the discipline that it takes. And we think our plan is unique to who we are and what we're about. So that's there's no magical solution, man. It just takes a lot of work, and you got to stay. It's so competitive, and the difference between winning and losing is so small. You got to stay on the edge and on the cutting edge on a lot of things. And so I really just feel like I know from a focus standpoint, eliminating the distractions. I know just for me, it's different.
How do you expect J.J. Wilson to contribute this year?
JJ is one of the most talented guys we have. He's grown, I think, from a maturity standpoint tremendously. And he's a guy that I think has benefited from the culture of the program, and a guy that is really talented. He's stronger, faster, and I think more mentally mature. So he's a guy I think is going to play a big role in what we're doing.
Can you tell us something?
Been really proud of his. Been really proud of his development.
Well, and then what's the status of Brady White too?
Brady's a guy that was a very traumatic injury. So Liz Frank injury, and so it's basically a 12-month recovery, and so I think happened at the end of October, I think 1st of November. So he has not been released medically, and I don't look for that to happen at least for a while, and so hopefully we'll get him back this year, but. Right now, I think that's just a day-to-day deal. I've been really proud of him. He will make it back. He's done a tremendous job. He's worked hard, showed unbelievable courage. He's a special young man. A guy that was a 4.0 in the classroom, and I see him every day, and I try to encourage him. I say, hey man, ain't a lot of undefeated quarterbacks. He's 1-0, so we're anxious to get him back, and you know what? And he could get back sooner than later. But it's just I want to be very smart about his recovery, because it's very important that he's full speed before he gets going. So and it's been hard for him to see the other two guys compete and not being able to do that because you're injured. But no doubt in my mind he'll be competing when he gets back, because he has all the intangibles to be a great quarterback.